Okay, it is Thursday, August 12th, 2021, and it's 10:10 a.m. and I'm at, excuse me, I'm out here. I'm hanging out with my buddies, the fish, some of my favorite creatures in the world right now, who are teaching me a lot about the nature of things, about what is important right now in this world as we're going through this increasingly chaotic crisis as as a human species, right? As the school of humans, just like we have the school of fish, right? We have the group, we have the collective, and as a collective, we're going through a point of inflection, a point where we need to start to look within. We need to start looking inside because that's, in my opinion, that's where the root of the problem lies, is within people and people's uh, difficulty or inability or struggle to observe reality as it is, and accept reality and interpret what they see out there in the world, and then make decisions based on that observance of what's out there, which are in their own best interest and in the interest of the collective, of the school of humans, just like the school of fish. Now, if you look at the fish, you can see here, they're doing pretty well, right? They have their own problems as fish. They have fish issues. But I'll tell you this much from what I see right here, their fish issues are a whole lot less challenging than our human issues right now. Okay, so this morning it's around 10 a.m., okay, and I've got here my ginger tisane with the red chili pepper, which in combination with the ginger is a significant pain reliever, equivalent to taking benzodiazepine like Valium or any other pharmaceutical medication in that family of drugs, Xanax, and or opioids such as codeine and Oxycontin, whatever it is. Okay, which I also am taking, but I'm taking those judiciously and in combination with the ginger tisane, which is, to be completely honest, just probably 60% as effective as the pharmaceutical stuff. So that's a good thing. But anyway, um, I was meditating on this concept of pain, as I'm dealing with, as I'm working through this. You can hear the birds back there. The birds are another object of meditation that is just chock full of insight. Okay, and that's what meditation is. In the Buddhist tradition, you have the vipassana, which is literally insight meditation. Okay, so they actually have terms for these processes, these methods of achieving insight. Essentially, that's what we're looking for when we meditate, right? We're looking for insight. And if you just break down that word, insight, in, it's a compound noun, basically, right? Yeah, it's a compound noun. It's got the prefix in, which means inside, and then the root morpheme, which is sight, which is to see, to insight, to see inside. Okay? Because, again, my theory at this point, my general theory, is that most of the chaos that we see in the world right now is resulting from people's inability, humans' inability to see the reality, which is both outside themselves as well as inside themselves. Okay? And again, I am not in any way pontificating in these videos. This is not what this is. I don't accept comments. You don't need the comments. The comments are a layer which we put on top of reality, which obscures it. That doesn't mean that the comments aren't helpful. They are. But at some point, if you really want to develop insight, then you have to take away as many of the layers as possible. But anyway, getting back to this concept of pain, and also the concept I talked about in a few videos previously. Pain could be looked at as a quote-unquote negative force, right? But it can also be reframed, right? Just like we reframe our view of our object of meditation, right? Which is the pond. We can reframe it, right? Just like we're doing now. And then we can look at this, our object, from a different perspective. Okay. And my hands are a little shaky because of the pain, but that's okay. We're dealing with it. Okay, so let's go back to our friends, the fish, as we contemplate. So pain can be looked at as a negative force, but it can also be looked at as a positive force. That is a force for change, a force for disruption, a force which disrupts our concept of reality, which, especially in the modern age, we're stuck in. Many people are stuck. To me, that's the biggest problem right now, is that many people, I would say at this point, most people, but I know that there are people out there who are less stuck, and also people out there who are just, laying low and just trying to do their work, just like I'm doing in these videos, right? In these videos which are intended for my own personal development. And then the hope is that any personal development, any insights which come out of these videos, when I share them publicly on the internet, okay, will then be able to reach other people who resonate with this information. Again, I'm not pontificating. That's not what's going on here. This is meditation. Meditation is about the process. Okay? And one thing I notice as a content marketing person, okay, which is my main gig, is that people are just getting into this sort of like format, okay, of like with online video, right? Everybody's got their intro and their outro, right? It's like the world is becoming, I guess in the words of Shakespeare, right? All the world is a stage. Everybody makes their entrances and exits, okay? But he meant it on a deeper level, but actually it works on multiple levels. But that's what the world is becoming. It's becoming this perpetual cycle of people entering and exiting, doing their intros and outros. These videos don't need an intro or an outro, because reality doesn't have intros and outros. It's just a process. Okay, so we're already in it. We don't need to declare that we're in it. We don't need to declare the intro. We don't need to declare the outro. We just need to be in it. Because there it is, right in front of us. There's the fish. They don't need their intros and outros, right? They don't need their intros and outros. They're just in it. By the way, this ginger tisane is really, really helping with my pain, which was at a level, I would say level 7 before I came out here to sit down and turn on the camera. And I would say that right now it's at a level 5. It's lower enough, it's been reduced enough, the pain has been reduced enough for me to be able to function and be able to get through this video and do this video, which is something which is very important to me right now and very helpful. And I hope that it is helpful to anybody who ends up stumbling upon this and seeing this. I mean, in the worst case scenario, right, you've been able to look at a nice little pond and some swimming fish for however long this video lasts, right? No harm done there, right? You took a break out of your day and you watched the fish. Okay. But getting back again to this point about the purpose of pain, the purpose of struggle, and that pain is a force which can be looked at as a force which propels forward. It forces us to face the reality of things because pain is real. Again, getting back to this concept that people's main struggle right now as a human race, as a human school, as the school of humans, is that we're so disconnected from reality. We're disconnected from pain. We're disconnected from the reality that's right in front of us because it's being put through so many filters, both external filters, like the layers of filtering which exist on the internet, let's say, with social media, most of which are not even in our control, which is even worse. Okay? And then we have our self-imposed filters. Okay? Our own defense/coping mechanisms by which we guard ourselves, right? By which we delude ourselves, by which we rob our own selves of insight because it's more comfortable that way. It's more comfortable to create a false reality which feels good than it is to face the more raw reality. Okay, so I'm not going to use a formal noun and say the reality because I don't believe that there is a the reality. Okay, but that's a deep philosophical issue which requires contemplation, and that's what these videos are all about. They're about contemplation. But let's just say that let's just assume that there is no the reality, but there is reality, and reality is partly a construct which we are involved in creating for ourselves. In the same way, as I said in the previous video, that we create the construct of this ginger tisane, and we create it by consensus because we've, as humans, we've created this consensus that creating a glass is helpful and functional in allowing us to then put drinks into it, and then we put certain things into the glass, like the water, the boiling water, the ginger, the red chili pepper, because we know by consensus that those drinks are consumable by humans, right? If I put gasoline in this glass, right, the consensus is that would not be a good idea, right? So again, just putting it in very real world terms, which is the best way, and that's what I like about you can call it the Buddhism, but even the Buddhists themselves call it insight meditation. You can take away the kind of the loadedness of the word Buddhism, right? Which some groups of people, different religions like the monotheists and stuff like that, they have a hard time dealing with that word, and it's understandable because you're challenging somebody's deep worldview, which is a belief system. Belief systems are our deepest worldviews, okay? And that's fine. I have no problem. I mean, I understand that. I understand how somebody's belief system can be threatened by something which challenges that belief system. And words have the ability to challenge, okay? But again, that same challenge, which can be produced through words, is essentially no different than the quote-unquote negative force which creates change, right? So this video is at 15 minutes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to watch the fish for 2 minutes. We're going to meditate, meditate on or observe our object of meditation, which is the pond. So I'm going to drink my ginger tisane, and we are going to just observe. And then I'll shut the video off. Okay, so that was a nice little observation, and I'm going to shut the camera off in a couple of minutes, in a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to go and refill my ginger tisane to continue addressing this pain issue, and then I may take some of the more intense painkillers, just a little bit, just a functional dose. Okay, functional dose, quote unquote functional dose. A functional dose, as I talk about in my videos where I make my drinks, which I do not publish publicly, but a functional dose is just the right amount of something which is therapeutic, which creates the positive effect necessary, the quote unquote positive effect, the forward moving force, okay, which then allows movement forward. So we can look at this video as being a quote unquote functional dose of meditation, right? It's just a small little bump, right, of therapeutic meditation time and a little bit of insight which I inject into these videos just by the nature of the process of creating these videos. Okay? And the hope is that both for anybody consuming these videos anytime in the future, as well as myself anytime in the future, that these thoughts that I'm putting into these meditative videos, which are essentially experimental videos, experimental film, the hope is that these thoughts and ideas and the meditation itself will be a force for forward movement. Okay, very good. I'm going to shut this off now.